fraud or the Texas workhorse?
Can you tell they don't like each other? I should note we have not independently verified any of the claims that you just saw there being leveled at Ken Paxton by Cornyn's campaign. Paxton himself did respond, saying when you have no record to run on, you run the campaign that he's running. He says the difference between us and our campaigns could not be any more stark. I'm running because I love my family, my state, my country, and I think they deserve a far better senator than John Cornyn. Now, this comes as President Trump is involved in this, but not too involved. He is not endorsed. He is going to Texas tomorrow, and he's got all of the Republicans that you just see here going with him. Joining me tonight is CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enden. Harry, I know that was brutal. I mean, there's a lot of ugly ads out there. That one, I think, is one for the books. Can you just tell us, though, what do the numbers say about where this race stands?
Yeah, if you ever run an ad like that against me, Caitlin Collins, we are no longer friends.
I never would.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, there's a reason why the incumbent senator is running that type of ad, and that is because he is running scared. He's running scared because just take a look right now at the choice for Texas Senate GOP nominee. Look who's out ahead. Look who's out ahead. It's within the margin of error, but it's Ken Paxton. The incumbent John Cornyn's actually trailing at 34%. Wesley Hunt in the race as well, 26%. Now, I should note in Texas, you need 50% plus one in order to win the primary. And right now, nobody is close to a majority of the vote. That means the two top vote getters would advance to a runoff later this year. And at this point, that seems more likely than not. Of course, you want to be the ultimate top vote getter. And at this point, to me, it looks like Ken Paxton, looking at some other data as well, seems to confirm that Ken Paxton's the front runner, as well as the fact that you look at that ad, it seems to me that John Cornyn thinks that Ken Paxton is the front runner. And this, of course, worries not just John Cornyn, but establishment Republicans as well. It worries Washington Republicans. Why is that? Because looking ahead to the general election, Texas has not elected a Democratic senator since 1988, when it was Lloyd Benson who won. In fact, he was the last non-incumbent to also win, and that was in 1970. But look at the polling. Look at the polling right now. Choice for Texas Senate, Paxton versus the Dems versus Jasmine Crockett. Look at this. Paxton's ahead, but only by 2. Well within the margin of error. How about Tallarico? Again, Paxton ahead, but only by 2. Well within the margin of error. The bottom line is this. Washington Republicans fear that Ken Paxton could be the nominee because that could lead to a very competitive general election. And based on the polling data, they have a lot to be worried about, Caitlin.
Yeah, and I've been talking to White House aides about this. They're all worried about those exact numbers because, each of these candidates is saying, I'm better suited to beat the Democrat in this race. The White House, I think, isn't really sure which of that's going to bear out. What does the early data say to us, though, about how Democrats are faring so far in Texas?
Okay, this is not the only good news that Democrats are looking at. This general election polling that suggests they could be quite competitive regardless who their nominee is, wins the primary next Tuesday, if in fact they're able to win without a runoff. But it's also the turnout right now in the primary. Hello, these are shocking numbers. Take a look here. Share of the Texas midterm primary ballots at this point pre-primary. You go back 4 years ago, there were a lot more people choosing the Republican ballot than the Democratic ballot. Look at that. 62% chose the Republican ballot compared to just 38% who chose the Democratic ballot. Now, in deep red Texas, which has not voted for a Democratic presidential candidate since Jimmy Carter all the way back in 1976, look at this. Democrats are actually outvoting Republicans in deep red Texas, a state that Donald Trump won easily last time around by double digits, 53% to 47%. And I went back through the history books because I could not believe these numbers, not just compared to 4 years ago at this point, but when was the last time that Democrats actually outvoted Republicans in a midterm primary? You have to go all the way back since 2002. Since 2002, the beginning of this century, no other primary was even close to this. So when you put together the general election polling with the primaries voting right now, you can see why Democrats are giving 2 thumbs up and Republicans are quite worried, Caitlin.